everyone. We are back again. This is probably going to be our last part of this evening. But as always, we are joined by Lost Without a Trace. We are joined by Scorched Ace 97. We are joined by Ari Cypress Everly. We are joined by Greymane Gaming. And we are joined by Morden 56. And we are joined by 5 new mounts that were just summoned by Twiggy.
Four new mounts.
4 new mounts. I keep doing that. 4 new mounts that were just summoned by Twiggy in the last episode. Where
You don't get one because you have wings.
Right.
You don't need one.
My mount is Cass's brain.
Yes, you have a mount and it is Cass. Hello, Pegasus. So, you have now returned back to your base and are sitting in the
Sitting in the theater.
in what was a stage.
Theater.
About to discuss what happens next.
Okay, so I think that went well. Everybody, thank you very much for trusting the Twiggy and going with the thing. Oh, that was a lot. It was a lot. But it
So, Twiggy,
yeah.
I trusted you. I did the ritual, and I got a dog.
Yeah. Very nice dog.
Yes, I did not know what we were doing. I didn't even know it was a ritual.
Oh.
I trust you, but if it's something really important, please let me know in the future. I picked the dog because I thought it was, interesting and not necessarily for function.
Okay, so the thing is, if the thing is not the right fit, if camel is too big, if dog is too small, you want to do it, okay, they tell you this very carefully. You go to the animal, you say, time to go to rest now and be gone, and you send it away. You have to do this. I can't do that. You have to do that. And it will go poofed, no more. Or if we get into something and they go poofed by themselves, they don't die, they just poofed. But if we need to call them again, you will again have to go through. You don't get to pick the first pick that's locked. The spirit is selected you and you have selected it. But shapes can change. We can do different forms. And if I get really good at this spell, maybe the forms can change lots. So I'm going to keep practicing.
So let me know if you invent an enlargement kibble. That would be nice.
Big puppy. Oh dear.
I am just or enlargement bacon strips. That'll also work.
Only one thing smells like bacon, and that's bacon. There's no other things around it. It's the only thing that can smell like bacon.
Wait, you can't magic bacon? That's weird.
No, but it only smells like bacon, yes.
Oh, okay.
Bacon's always magic. It's bacon.
This is the moment where Morden is going, please God, no, not the bacon.
So, plans.
Plans within the plans. So now we've got to go to do the things, and we have everybody asking us to do lots. We've got contracts now to fulfill. How is the best way to go about doing which one? We have contract with Lothar Blacksmith. We have deal with...
Yes, we have a contract with Lothar. We actually sort of have a contract with the Wallmen. And we have a contract, with the Countess to deal with the pillars. And right now, I think the pillars are probably the pillar closest to us is probably the easiest to deal with.
Especially since now since we have the mounts that can get there.
Let's take care of the one that's closest to us, because then we can...
Because, Cass also kind of said that we were going to do something soon, and I think that was what he was referring to when he was, talking to the Black Prince of Doom.
Show people here what it is we can do. That's good. Reputation is very important. If you make everybody respect, fear, and/or love, whatever, just getting names out there. This is a small bit with having the look. We can make the mounts happen. That's good. It's positive. It's tradable. It's marketable. It's good things. But maybe now something a show of how strong. That would also be good, so that we don't die spontaneously. I look over at Vanos. Not dying spontaneously. It's bad. It's very bad. Don't do it.
It wasn't really spontaneous when I died the first time.
Not encouraging habits to be formed. No.
Yeah, it only took about 12 seconds. That's not quite spontaneous.
I'm okay with going through the thing. We don't know much more about it, but we know more about it than we do about finding demon lords in the city and making them go poofed.
Yeah.
So Luther raises his hand and says, "My votes go deal with the gnolls."
Mine as well.
Because, at the very least, gnolls are not demons, but they're in our way to go deal with a potential demon stick tower thing that I'm sure Adayo approves of destroying.
Yeah,
Yes,
even if
she
it's
sounds
not
like she wants to
demons
destroy
themselves.
everything that's not celestial, and I'm a little concerned about this. But, whatever.
We need to know more about the towers. Need to know more about what they're doing. If it's not even possible to take down the tower, then why are we even here at all? So that's a big question. We need to know the answers. Yes.
I would vote for the gnolls myself, for lack of a better term, political reasons. It would establish us as a force that can accomplish things, and
Fair. Because if we can smash them and people know that they're there, that'll make our stand. It won't necessarily make our standing go up. It'll make people have to at least look at us.
yeah.
Yeah, and we kind of. I know I was being a little guarded when I was talking to the individual that we saw last night, but that was kind of the idea, was if we can take out one of these towers that this Knoll camp is guarding, as you said, Vinwith, that'll kind of put our name on the map.
Okay.
And I think that could be very
What do we need to prepare to go to the Knolls then? If we could get saddles, that would be great. If we don't be able to get saddles, we could do without. I would like one more day to make sure I'm full of the boo-boo biscuits and things, but that's about it for me. Anyone else?
With the mounts, how long do we think it would take to get there, Deuce?
Oh, like an hour.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
far.
Yeah, it's only about 10 or 12 miles outside of town as it is.
Gotcha. So we don't even really need the mounts in general.
I mean, the mounts are so you can get there refreshed rather than exhausted.
Right.
That's literally it.
Yeah, I could probably find a stout tree or something and make a lance. I've been trained with lance combat. It's not my strongest form, but
So, hey, Cassidius, what time is it?
currently it is
9:27
9:27
in the morning.
in the morning.
We can wait until Off Hands opens, and I'll take a quick trip there. And I will see if I can find something to either help with the dog or to help me, so that I can ride on the horse. Not horse, mastiff. And if not, I will just follow behind as fast as I can. And
I mean, it's not a very long trip. We could double up with somebody.
I was about to say, I think my thing had 2 humps.
Camel
I think I
might
can
be
fit.
able to take 2 people.
I think it has 2
'Cause
humps,
both
but
of
I'm pretty
those
sure
are
you don't
light.
sit on those.
I mean, you can. You shouldn't, but that's more for top heavy reasons. But when you have a one hump camel, you actually sit on the hump, so they can do it
Right.
just fine. And the two of you are arguably
Smaller.
the lightest members of the party.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could theoretically ride behind me, but would he really want to be behind the guy in plate armor that's going to be charging? If
Well,
something
he
happens?
would be jumping off before that started.
Yeah.
If you started charging something, there was definitely going to be a
Be like,
jump and roll, please. Let me get out of here before he does something that's going to get me killed. I remember the Vanillith mace. I ain't trying to do that again.
Right.
Luther, if you do go to offhands, can you look for something that I could use as a steel point for a lance? Or even if they have a lance themselves?
So a lance or say a spear tip, basically.
We could make that work.
I mean, we could probably talk to Lothar or Lorthar. How do you say his name? I'm sorry.
Lorthar.
Lorthar. That was it. I knew you put a
R in there somewhere.
Yeah.
like an extra, a little bit of extra on there, and I couldn't remember where.
Lorthar Black Anvil.
We could talk to him because I'm pretty sure he probably shows up there every time, and we know he has at least good quality gear, if not better than that. But I'll definitely look around.
Should I ride Pickles to offhands?
Not yet.
Okay.
What you
Try now, Ace.
want to do, Twiggy,
Cool.
Good.
is when you ride into offhands with that, you do it after you have 2 or 3 of those ready to sell, and you sell them for like 1,000 to 1,250 gold.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yes, I'm willing to give Fountain View what they asked for, mostly because I kind of felt bad about what happened earlier, and they've been good to us so far.
And she's actually better at bargaining than you are.
Yeah.
You would have had a hard skill check to try to try to talk them up, honestly, if you had tried.
Yeah, I'm not like Luther's actually fairly decent at persuasion, but he's not trying to fleece them.
Right.
He's going to absolutely fleece everybody else. If he thinks he could get away with it, he would start with 1,500 and let people talk him down, but he's not sure he can do that yet, which is why he said like 2 or 3, because that guarantees like a week or so for him to think about it.
Right.
It's okay. I won't go to offhands by myself. I'm not doing that part. If I have the things and you do the trading, maybe later. But yeah, that's later. First, we have to get the 4 for the Fountain View crew.
Yes.
So yeah. Honestly, it costs about 7 silver of parts.
Don't ever say that out loud again.
7 silver and 1 twiggy day. 1 twiggy day is a minute.
Luther is actually shushing you.
Like, be quiet, someone might hear you.
Most expensive component, twiggy time.
Your time is very expensive.
Very
It is
expensive.
It is at least 1,250 golds worth of expensive.
It's taken me over 25 years of studying how paladins make it happen.
So, if you can certainly wait until tomorrow to do it, or if Twiggy is now resting while you go and do the thing with the stuff, you could probably leave around 6 p.m. and get there around local dusk. And just remember that local dusk is actually going to be kind of dark because everything here is kind of dark.
Doesn't everybody have dark vision in this party?
I never
Not
got a mask.
everybody, but we
I
have
do.
masks.
Yeah. So I mean, that's also no longer a problem because you have you have masks from the necroficers.
Okay. But before we set out, just want to clarify. The spell, jumping back to the armors, the spell did not detect anything.
Nothing whatsoever.
Okay.
I mean, you can have
Actually,
a
I wanted
dia
to-
double check because you know
I
that
actually
she
wanted to
won't
do a thing.
miss.
We're going after gnolls, so I wanted to do a check to see what I know about gnolls. Would that be like nature or?
Yes.
Can I also make a history check? See if I read anything on gnolls?
Yes, but it'll be a tougher check.
That's fine.
Okay. And on the armors,
Other than that,
out of the three, which
Ooh,
one
I rolled
would
good.
I estimate to protect the best?
The quote unquote dragon plate. It is not actually dragon plate. It's just plate that looks like a dragon,
Correct.
but which is an entirely different situation. But that seems to like it looks like the armors are all about the same. The difference is the magic in them. The first one has none. The second one has some, but it's like parade magic. It doesn't actually make it more battle ready. Whereas the dragon plate armor is actually a battle enchantment.
Yeah. Okay. So I would, while everybody else is going and doing their things, I would actually put the dragon armor on.
Put it on, start attuning to it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Do you have that on your card, or do you need me to pull that over?
Actually, did not check. I think it needs to be put there.
Okay. Then
I
I
think-
will.
Is that the plate +1?
Yes.
Oh, yes, it is there.
It is there. Okay. There's another mod that we have to get that allows players to move things, and then we'll have to like make a player entry just called chest, and that way you guys can drop off some of this extra stuff. Because like I know that you're not carrying 2 suits of plate mail and a suit of chain mail right now, but we have nowhere else to put
Right.
it at the moment, so it's fine.
Right.
Yeah, I got a 22 on my nature check for what I know about gnolls.
Okay. You know a lot
I do.
about gnolls.
I got a 23.
Okay. I will. You will have similar information, and then I will tell you the parts that are different. Gnolls are. They're not infernal creatures. However, they are aligned to an infernal deity, and thus very powerful gnolls will sometimes be able to manifest infernal capabilities. The most common misconception about gnolls is that they are actually related to dogs. They are not. They appear to be related to hyenas, and technically a hyena is closer to being a cat than a dog. Therefore, they are in fact infernal cats, not infernal dogs, but absolutely nobody cares about that specific point, because the important thing is they are bipedal, nasty, sadistic, and able to use armor and weapons.
And to generate infernal cats is, kind of a redundancy.
Almost redundant. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The most common type of gnoll is just going to be a regular gnoll. And they are often going to be armed either with glaives, spear and shield combinations, or archers who will have a bow and then one of the other 2 options as well. Most gnolls will carry either will normally have a ranged weapon and a close combat weapon, unless they're the ones with the glaives. A lot of times they won't also have a bow. Most gnolls will also have like throwing daggers or something. Like, they're pretty smart. They're feral, but they're not dumb. And the biggest mistake most people make when dealing with gnolls is thinking that they're dumb. Gnolls have a very alpha organization to their packs. There is going to generally be an alpha called a pack lord or a pack warlord. Following information Twiggy also has, there is also an omega, which is to say something that is outside of the pack hierarchy. A shaman of sorts called a gore walker.
Play. Pickles, eat that.
Occasionally, and this is the information that Cassidius has specifically. Occasionally, there will be gnolls eat ravenously. They eat all the time, which is commonly known. The bit of extra information that Cassidius has is that gnolls who will develop an inability to eat, it's often seen as some form of like divine blessing or a divine sign. So they will often be kept aside from the rest of the pack and kept in cages so that when they eat and then vomit up whatever they ate, they can the portents can be read in the mess that occurs.
Yum.
They
Oh,
generally
sure.
don't live long. The ones that do live long, it's because they have such a tremendous constitution that they can manage to survive being basically starved to death. And they're driven insane by it and become feral berserkers in combat. They are likely the most dangerous kind of gnoll. Aside from a warlord.
So never trust a skinny gnoll. Got it.
Don't trust a skinny gnoll or a gnoll that looks like it's just bones.
Yeah. So, that is what the two of you know about gnolls, which is also now what Adaya knows about gnolls,
Yeah.
ironically.
So gnolls, they can be tricksy. They can be surprisingly organized. They can like their little rangy weapons, but they also will not hesitate to get in your face and eat it. So we're just going to go and take a look-see around first, or do we want to go in and just see how hard we can smash upon surprising?
I personally like the idea of going in, doing a little quick look before we start smashing things, because I would like to have a real plan when we go to pick this fight.
I will also remind Cassidius, because of that damned feat that he has, that due to a conversation with the Fountain View 5, they had promised assistance when you went to go deal with the gnoll problem because of your willingness to help them with the necrophycer problem.
Okay, I will share this with the group. Remember, when we go, we can kind of call upon their help.
Oh, okay. So if we want to, maybe we should go tell them now that we want to go do this tomorrow, because faster is better for this, I think. If we are ready to be ables and be readies,
Yeah, I would agree.
Are they diurnal or nocturnal? Do we know?
Not terribly. One for the spoon. Got it.
They don't.
Not terribly either.
They don't care. Okay. So
they are packed like that are going to be they're not so dumb that they don't set the watches. They don't do farming, they don't do things, but they do scavenge, and they do a little crafties. They make enough of the things to make the weapons. Not very good, but good enough to how. Never trust a gnoll that invites you to dinner either. You will be the snack.
Yeah. All right, so Luther, you're getting ready to go to Offhands.
Yep, I am. But just to clarify, so
Okay.
we're going to wait until tomorrow to leave, correct?
Well, if we want to go today, we have to go tell Fountain View like right now.
That's really what I'm asking, because if Fountain View is coming with us, I don't need to look for anything to help me use the Mastiff as a mount.
Because they won't have their
They
mounts.
won't have
'cause
them anyway.
They won't
mounts
have a
either.
mount anyway, so we're basically walking. We can bring the mounts with us if we need them, but right, that's why I'm asking. And also, if that's the case, then if I'm going to Offhands, some of you should go to Fountain View. to talk to them.
I go to Fountain View. If Cass wants to come with me to Fountain View, we could go to Fountain View.
I can go to Fountain View.
All right.
I'd go to put the armor on, go to Fountain View. Start
Okey-doke.
attending to it now, might as well.
Do you want to
so
go
then,
to Fountain View, or do you want to go with him to Offhands to see if you can find Lancepit?
I am checking for Lancepit for him, so that was already on the list.
Okay.
So if he wants to come, he can, but he does not have to because I will be searching for him.
All right.
Oh no, I've never had a Lancepit.
So we have Luther going to Offhands, Vanwath and Twiggy going to Fountain View, and Cassidius is going where?
Well, if two people are already going to Fountain View, then I don't think I need to. I'll probably stay here.
Okay.
And I'll probably, to be honest, instead of carrying around all this stuff in the bag of holding, I'll probably put it back in the secret space and kind of put it away. So most of the stuff, I'll designate what we're putting in there, and that
Okay.
way we can keep track of what's where.
Yeah, until I get that until I get a dump spot made.
And then I have some other stuff when they leave, but we can
Okay.
deal with that when we get there.
Okay. Luther and Cassidius and Vanwath, give me a D10 roll. Whoever rolls highest is whose scene we're going to do first. That one's an 8. That one's a not 8. And that is also a not 8.
Shit.
Okay, so then he's going to pause, and we'll go with the 7 then. 7 was Luther?
Correct.
Okay. So. You are in Offhands. The 2-hour-a-day fast trading merchanting area.
Did you bring Runa with you?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I am intentionally not taking any of the mounts out of the stable or the house really right now. Mostly because I don't want people to know we have them yet.
Okay. So you are in Offhands. You are looking for either a lance tip or either a spear tip, a lance, or something similar. And is there anything else you are doing, or anyone else that you want to try to communicate with while you're in Offhands?
Mostly that's what he's looking for. There was like he's gonna browse through what's there as well, just to see if there's anything that he didn't see the last time he was here when he was here yesterday. That was he's actually gonna also look for travel foods.
Okay.
Because now that I think about it, most of the stuff that we purchased before was stuff to leave at
Right.
Eastgate base, but nothing that travels well. So he's gonna look for those, and he is gonna try and see if there's any like enlarge or reduce or enlarge items, but his hopes aren't terribly high for those.
All right.
But main thing would be the tip and the food right now.
Okay. You do not find a lance. This is one of those things that D&D doesn't have a good stat for. You do not find a lance. What you do find is a cavalry spear, which is to say a broad-headed spear tip on a much larger and thicker shaft than an infantry spear. So it is
The lance before it was a lance.
Yes, the proto lance. Your other thought is if you went to the Wallmen, you might be able to buy one from them, or if you went to go to Lothar directly, you might be able to get one, but odds are it's going to be something he's going to need to make and not something that he has on hand. So this is
Gotcha.
probably your best bet.
All right, and how much they selling it for?
That would be information I should have expected was coming.
I mean, unless you want to just give it to him.
He is our sneaky boy, and he is off by himself.
Trust me, there has been a thought on that, but me walking away with like a 12-foot lance
One of those
is
away.
kind of
you can't
hard.
just
Is
sneak
that a
in
lance in your
pockets.
pocket, or are you
Yeah.
just happy to see me?
Across the back of
Exactly.
holding, just,
They are asking 25 gold for the cavalry spear.
What does Luther have on his person? I'll trade you for a crowbar. No, I'm kidding. 25 gold, huh?
25 gold.
Yeah. I am double checking how much money I actually have because I know we spent some and I didn't have access to my character sheet.
Right. I believe you have more than that.
I do. I definitely do. I just needed to make sure what I actually had. So 25 gold. Yes, he'll buy it because Ben needs a
Okay.
cavalry lance.
Now, as far as
Spear.
food, you can find some things. There's not a ton of like dried food here or prepared food. Mostly because like most of the meat and produce they get outside of the wall is already too close to going bad to be able to put out long enough to dry it. You find some smoked meat, but it's dubious quality at best. You realize that it's far more likely a good idea for you to just get material and have Twiggy make,
Jerky or something
jerky
similar.
or tack or, road rations rather than trying to buy something made by anybody else.
Yeah. Okay. I just it was one of those, random thoughts that came up.
Yep.
All right. And last thing would be like potions, amulets, anything like that that are coming that look not coming to mind that look like they might be, magical in nature that are reduced and enlarged. I doubt we're finding any of that, but asking anyway.
Give me a D20.
Asking for a friend.
Nope.
Okay. I'll just have to use the stuff I have on me.
Yep.
And Luther's shopping spree is over then, because he literally came here for those two things and is trying not to spend a ton of money.
Yep. That's okay. That's all right, Rose. It's probably a good idea that you were slow. Luther, you have a +1 for your next roll.
Yay!
Which is good that she was slow, because the +1 would not have helped a roll of a 7.
Nope. But that's okay. Luther has a plan.
I should have put my next roll guaranteed as a crit card.
I've thought about doing that one, but I also am afraid that we're going to get like an amulet that has so many a day and they're going to want like 100,000 gold for it.
Or
Is
more,
that-
or more importantly, there are things coming where you're probably going to want to save those for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to want to save that for when we need to, shish kebab the Knoll war boss.
And
And now all of a sudden I see gnolls with iron gobs and oh no, this is bad.
Ace, have you figured out what you're doing? Or do you want to pass again? Okay. I think he's muted, but we're passing again. So, Gray and Twiggy
Yes.
are arriving at Fountain View for the 3rd time today.
With the red flag.
We got the flag. It's on a stick. It once was a cushion. Now it's not.
I have the hardest time clearing things off this map now that it's a server. I don't know why.
I got you.
Yeah, because I can't get anything to go away. Which is weird. Oh, you know what? I bet it's probably because I'm in combat marking mode. But I can't get that to go away either. Grr! Okay. Okay, I'm going to say that was it because I just got that to move. Anyway, boop, boop, boop. Boop. So, we have a Twiggy and we have a Vanlath. Boop. Boop. So you are both arriving at the closed front door of Fountain View.
I do the knocking. Dunk, 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 dunk.
Okay.
With the red flag.
And answering the door this time is
Polly.
Polly is the door. Womp.
Yay!
Answering the door this time is Alexander. Boop.
Hello, Mr. Alexander.
Welcome back.
Hey. Are we at? No, Polly's in the entranceway because Polly is the entranceway.
Yes.
Polly, like, hello, Polly, and I hold up a cracker.
The carpet rumbles.
I just drop a cracker. It's like,
Right. You toss a cracker over
over his shoulder.
over Alexander's shoulder. As it's in midair in the foyer, a tendril sneaks up out of the carpet, wraps around it, and pulls it in, and you hear a mild munching sound.
It's like, so we are here because we helped you, and now we would like very much for you to be helping us.
I'm gonna get Blaze.
Yes, thank you.
Wait right here.
Okay.
Alexander's response is above my pay grade. One
Yes,
moment, please.
Alexander's response is always above my pay grade. Blaze comes out. Alexander said you wanted us for something?
Yes. We helped you with the necrophysers, and you said you would help us with the gnolls. Well, we would like to go after the gnolls now, yes.
Oh, yeah. Sure. When were you planning on that?
Tonight. And they notice
Right
behind
back.
me, they see the very large armored person is now all in the dragon motif armor.
Yep. Sure.
Is that enough time? Do we need to change that plan, or?
I mean, tonight can work. We're going to be fighting in the dark, but
We have these. I have the more of the masks, right? Like, they make you see in the dark. It's the necrophyser
I
mask.
think the only person that's going to need one of those is probably Alexander.
We have spares.
She reaches out to grab one of them from you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is going to be exciting.
Oh, very exciting.
Do we have anything resembling a plan?
We're going to get close enough that Luther can take a look and see if there's a plan that's able to be made, because all we know is where they are, not how many they are, not what their camp is set up like or anything, but to get out there, learn a thing, and then smash a thing is general outline of plan.
Okay. Sure. Why not? We haven't done anything incredibly potentially fatal in at least 48 hours.
But if that's enough time to sharpen things, to grab a boo-boo biscuit or potion or anything like that, yeah, this is
When
we go
were
and do
we
the
leaving?
thing. I look over at Van. I'm like, when were you leaving? We were going to go this evening. Did everybody come back and we can be out of here by sunset, right?
I believe that was the plan. Yeah.
Yeah. If you didn't do anything strenuous between now and 6 o'clock, it could count as a long rest and you could get your spell slot back.
Yep. Sunset, 6 o'clock-ish. Make sure everybody's rested, every spell is available, and we have all the bits in the pieces.
An enthusiastic recon moment. Exactly. All right. Well, you guys are further south than us, so we'll meet you down there at 6 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you very much, and we will see you then.
All right.
Gotta do the thing. Gotta
Steiner
do the
recount
thing.
lance. Let's go. I mean, between Adiah, Vanweth, and Alexander, that's pretty much a Steiner recon lance.
I mean,
And we're probably just about as fast.
Yep. Okay.
So then we'll head back to the base.
So you head back to the base.
How long were they gone?
Everyone is going to be gone for probably an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Wonderful.
Now, the flip side to that is that's only going to get you to like 1 o'clock, and then you still have 5 more hours of waiting.
Wonderful.
herring, not waiting. Herring.
Yes.
Okay.
So, what's your plan?
All right.
My
So,
plan is to call a timeout so I can take a puppy outside. I'll
Well,
be back.
you're not in the scene, so you're fine.
That's okay. Bye.
so, first off, we're gonna shove all the crap into the thing that
Right.
I'm not using, which I'll mark which ones we're keeping and which ones we're going, so that way you know. The next thing, I'm gonna reach in the bag.
Uh-huh.
I just open up the bag, see if anything happens, and I see that there is a note and 2 books.
Correct.
Wonderful. So I-
Specifically, there is a note, a shop card, and 2 books.
oh, that's right. Forgot about the shop card.
Yeah.
So there's a shop card and then two books. So I take them out, take a look at them, just kind of going briefly, reading the note. I'm going to delve into the books later because I have a plan that I want to enact before we hit the Knoll camp.
Okay.
So I'm going to just notice that I've got it, be like, cool, I'll read that maybe on the way.
Okay.
Shove it into my my bag of holding. And then I'm going to pull out a different book I have
Mhm.
as I walk around the building looking for dead dogs. Are there any remaining dead dogs?
I mean, you can always find some in this town, but you're not going to find any around your base at this point.
Okay.
Because that was like 3 days ago, and you've cleaned up since then.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So. What am I gonna do?
What are you
I'm
going
gonna
to do?
go look for dead dog bodies.
Okay. So you're about to wander around in town by yourself, looking for dog corpses.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
I mean,
You know there's plants out there, right?
That's why I'm thinking maybe not. It didn't work out well last time.
Exactly how to dissuade her.
I'm gonna flip a coin. Hang on. Heads, I'm going out. Tails, I'm doing something else. Heads, I'm going out.
okay.
I am going to see if I can find any dead dog bodies in the surrounding area. Because I want to set up my alarm system for the basement.
Okay. So you're going to attempt to use the facilities from the necroficers to build a Frankenpupper.
Yes, I would like to build a Frankenpuppet.
That your intention is to leave in the base as a guard when you leave.
Correct. I would like to basically put it downstairs as a first line of defense if anybody tries to get through the.
Okay. I will remind you that the Necroficer Gauntlet needs to be within a certain range of the constructs for them to function.
That's right.
And I'm only reminding you of that because of your stupid freaking feet.
Your freaking feet.
That's right.
Your player
Dang it,
freaking
okay,
feet.
maybe that. I was so happy with that plan. I was like, we'll have automated home defense.
That's a live
That
dog
doesn't quite
now.
work.
Now, your options are you could try to make a Frankenpupper to bring with you,
Meh.
or you can wait until you're done and see if null parts work
Ooh,
and
I
build
like
a
that.
Franken null.
We're gonna
Franken-null.
We're gonna make a Franken null. All right, I'll wait. So then instead
And
of
there's
that,
also the paladin who may or may not have issues with the party member suddenly becoming a necromancer. I mean,
home automated self defense. It's a tactical brilliance.
the paladin, the celestial being that lives in his head, the celestial being's large green friend, who has already determined has already demonstrated he is militant.
All right, then I guess I'll spend the whole time just delving into the books. So I'll look into the history of the Helgrilian Empire, and then looking at the plant book as well.
So for the general audience, in the two-way bag, Cassidius received another note from the Countess of Harper. I've included for your review 2 tomes which I feel may be of use. For those who weren't here in the last episode last week, he sent a letter asking about more information about the Helgrillan Empire and information about animated plants. The first is Eisenrecht's A Brief History of the Helgrillan Empire. As I understand it, while having never read it myself, this has the best generalized information on the Empire. While the tome is 600 years old, it is unlikely to be out of date given the current situation. The second one is Goral Andramar's Vegemancy and Arcane Botany, Volume 3. The reason I selected the third of 9 texts is this is the most comprehensive listing of animated flora. While the second and sixth manuals in this series are the most informative from a creation and arcane study sense, I feel that is outside of your current interests. Please be mindful that these tomes were expensive to replace and have just been listed as lent out on your account. You would do well to keep them secured while reviewing and return via the joined bag at your earliest convenience.
So don't lose the damn book.
Don't light them on fire.
That is the plan.
Okay. So, you are looking at the history of the Helgrillan Empire.
Correct.
Okay. Give me a investigation roll. We will consider it research.
Oh, that was almost a 13. 12.
It was almost 30, but instead it's 12. The Helgrillan Empire, this is a quick overview of the information that you grab. The Helgrillan Empire is overseen by an emperor. Her title is Emperor of the Skies. The emperor is in fact draconic. There are 11 city-states within the empire. Wait, no. There are 10 city-states within the empire. Each of those city-states is overseen by a bloodline of dragons, each a different color or metal. The actual number of dragons historically has always been very rare, so each bloodline is in and of itself a specific thing.
Okay.
These dragons don't appear to mate with dragons so much as to keep the draconic bloodline pure. They mate with other species while polymorphed. This keeps this keeps the draconic parts of the bloodline either from inbreeding with other dragons of the same type or forcing a diffusing of the bloodline by breeding with a dragon of a different type.
Yeah, like faking asexual reproduction.
Yes.
Really.
Each one of the cities is overseen by a dragon prince, also sometimes called a dragon lord with a capital L, 2 words. And that dragon lord is generally protected by a cadre or guard of dragon riders, sometimes referred to as dragon lords, all one word with the L not capitalized. In general, the dragon riders are the next in line for the throne of each individual city-state. Each city-state is independently operated by that dragon clan. And then decisions regarding the overall good of the empire are made by a senate made up of the dragon princes and the emperor of the skies. And that's about all you were able to get with that die roll.
Okay.
You may try again later.
Okay. Okay. How much time did that take the whole time?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, you've got a little bit more time if you wanted to do something, but
I'll just
also
start
remember that
writing
they
down.
were kind of staggered as to when they were doing what. Luther had to wait. Vanwath and Twiggy had farther they had to go, but they also could start earlier, so...
Right. I mean, one way or another, I'm here waiting. I'll probably just end up delving into the plant book as well, the botany
Okay.
plant. Just seeing what I can learn.
When you open up the... I have that somewhere. I know I do. When you open up the Vegemancy and Arcane Botany Volume 3 by Arch Vegemancer Goril Andromar, it in fact has a dozen different forms of Vegemancy that are defined and given descriptions that you can study. You can assume that you now have access to those character cards, and with that, stupid feat that you have, you will have all of that information perfectly available to you for the next 30 days. After that, you would have to make intelligence checks to see if you remember, or you would have to review the book again. You notice, of course, that the Unithorn is in there, now having met one. That's like the first thing you do is you flip through and you're like, oh, typical.
Okay. Cool. So I'll have that to look through.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So, with the exception of things like you can't recognize tangler vines until they move kind of thing, but then you'd go, oh, well, that's a tangler vine. You can assume that you will always be able to identify, like, these types of things, what they are, right?
Or they
Like-
come eat you.
Like if you see a hunting party of Vegapygmies, you'll know they're Vegapygmies, for example. You won't have to make a check because you already have that information.
Right. Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. All right. And we will assume that everyone is back at the base.
Everybody's home.
Everybody's home. Luther is normal sized and unfortunately sad about this.
Is everyone just in this meeting room area?
Looks like it.
Okay.
Here you go, Van. Here's your, 14-foot long pokey stick.
Thank you.
You have a cavalry spear. Assume it to have the exact same stats as a lance, because there's not a cavalry spear in this edition of the game. With the exception of... rather than doing 1d12 piercing, it does 1d10 piercing. But other than, so it'll do 2 points less damage. Other than that, it works exactly the same as a lance. It can be used for a charge. It can be braced for impact. It's a cavalry spear. It's a lance by another name.
Okay.
And I will go ahead and put that on your card as you guys do whatever it is that you do.
I will. So, Harper reached back out on certain things. I asked for some more information about this area, kind of filling in mostly what we figured out. There are a bunch of different city-states in the area. Sounds like this area is the one that's ruled by a black dragon, but it does seem like, depending on which city-state you're in, there is a different colored dragon, or a different type of dragon that rules over that specific area. So again, kind of filled in some of the information we already know, but it was good to kind of get a confirmation that that's the case. The other thing that she gave us is this, and I will hold out the shopping list. So I reached out to her last time. I sent a note over saying that prices here were outrageous. So if we need something kind of immediately, we can buy it here for a more expensive price. But if it's on this list, and
He's holding up basically a store scroll that has prices on it.
If anything is on this list and we're okay with waiting a day or two for her to check the bag, get the material, put it back in the bag, this price might be a little bit more lenient with what we can get. So if it's something that can wait a couple days, I'd recommend seeing if it's on this list, or maybe even just sending a note, hey, is this something you can possibly find, so we're not paying an astronomical price.
So looking at this list, I'm just gonna point out, Cass, does the Countess intend to shove a person inside the bag and just hope that you check in time?
No,
because it kind of looks like it with the assistants.
It does not look like this list was specifically prepared for Cassidius. It looks like this is a standard things that archivists have access to.
Gotcha.
I hope she shoves the whole person in the bag.
I mean,
we'll get a little gnome.
I mean, if there are any gnome or halfling assistants available, she can shove them in the bag and hope that Cassidius checks it within the next 3 hours before they die.
All right. No, like legitimately, I have a plan. God. We will get every gnome, halfling, and anybody small enough to fit in the bag. We'll bring them here. They'll just file in, and they'll already be past the wall. We'll literally make a short person army.
With mounts.
It works. Genius. We might have to come back to that plan, but I think it'll work. We shall take down the Dragon Riders with halflings.
I mean,
with children.
People
that look like children.
Arguably, if she held her sack on the ground open and held
we
your
opened
sack
ours, they
on
could
the
just
ground
mark
open,
right through.
They would just enter and leave the bag at the same time. I mean, they're just playing Portal at that point.
I am being serious. If we got everyone in our side ready,
My
we could
God.
literally summon an army.
See now you're really looking for those shrink and large potions. You send
So-
anybody
so-
that way.
We could just mass
So,
Alice
cast
in Wonderland
How
this
reduce.
thing.
long do you get? How long before you get reduced?
We
And
could literally mass cast reduce, send people through this bag, and have an army just sitting in our basement.
Arguably, you could also go back to town that way.
Exactly. That's also
Yes.
that was my next thing.
you just got to leave one person over here so they can hold the bag open, because you don't want to leave the bag here.
I mean, if you put it someplace safe, arguably
And like,
you
you know,
could.
a frame to prop it open.
Okay. No. So if
All right,
the
we'll come back to
opportunity
that
comes
idea. We'll come back to that.
for us to like, if we have to kidnap somebody or to interrogate them, we're putting them in the bag and having the interrogation
Bag.
being done on the other side of the wall, so there's zero chance that somebody can come rescue them.
Get in the bag.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
get in the bag.
All right.
Not the
I
first
guess I
time
gotta
we've
learn.
used
I
that
guess I
plan.
gotta. Okay. So on that note, I'll have to. If we have the money, I'll have to ask her to see if I can get a enlarged reduce scroll, so I can learn the spell, so I can send people through. This is a genius plan.
We digress.
I want to poke holes in this plan, but
There is no holes.
I
But would
mean,
it actually
the
work
only
with a
hole
living
is
being?
the only real hole is a lack of air.
But
But I
again,
need
have,
more
I have a
holes.
way to get around this, and it's
I don't
literally
either.
Sidious. Send her a letter telling her to hold the bag open at 12 o'clock tomorrow.
12 o'clock.
Time,
And then
yeah.
she puts it down, has it open at that time, and then it just straight through.
I mean, the other option would be paralysis or petrification, because if you petrify someone, they are petrified for 24 hours.
And then
So
they
you
can
could shrink
be-
them, petrify them, put them in the bag, and that gives you 27 hours for her to pull them out on the other end, at which point she could either dispel the petrification or just wait.
Right.
And also back the other way again. So it's not the worst idea.
But now they're enchanted twice. They're shrunk and
Guys, we need,
Petrified.
okay, everyone stop coming up with plans for the moment, because we're going to lose this bag.
okay.
The DM is realizing what he gave us. We're going to lose the bag.
The target size is reduced, specifically says the target size is halved in all dimensions.
Oh, okay.
So Luther's like 5'10", so he'd become what?
So
like,
Greymane's
just under 3.
so Van Weth's 6'4", 60-inch
Become a
chest
3-foot individual.
would become a 3-foot individual with a 30-inch chest. He would be able to fit into the bag at that point.
Oh,
It
wow.
wouldn't
Okay.
be comfortable,
Hey, but it is good to know.
and
that
I would
if we
argue he
need to get
couldn't
out
do
of
it in
Dodge-
armor, like it's that close. That maybe in armor he might get stuck, but
Exhale.
other than that, yeah.
If we need to, we have a plan. If we know a
Emergency
day in advance,
evac.
we need to get out of Dodge. We
Right.
can send a letter saying,
have an
"Put the
emergency
bag at
evac."
this time. We're coming through. Please have it open."
Emergency
Genius.
evac.
All right, well there you go. And with that, there's a knock at the door.
Of course.
Yeah. Is it 6 o'clock? Is that the Fountain View crew?
Yes.
Yoo-hoo!
Twiggy has managed her long rest because she did nothing important. Cassidius has managed a rest because he did nothing important. Anyone else, I don't think, had anything that was applicable, but the two of them may have spell slots that they wanted to recover.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
And at the door is the Fountain View 4.
Oh, they are the Fountain View 4 now.
Well, for you, they're the Fountain View 4. They're still the Fountain View 5. There's just 4
That's
of them.
fair.
So,
We need to give them a 5th somehow.
Oh,
We can bring over a midget. Sorry.
We only have 4, except when we have 5. So you know.
We can bring over a hobbit to give them.
Hey, Cass, can I borrow the bag for a second?
No, this is my magic item. You're not taking it.
I'm not taking it from you at all. Trust me. I don't want it. I just want to borrow it for a second. You will absolutely get it back.
Hit the face
On
over
your head.
No. Give me the wand.
Down over your shoulder.
Give me the.
How many charges does this wand have again?
It gets more
Well,
every
it would
day.
be full at this point. It's been 3
Cool.
days since it was used. Even if it rolled ones, it's full.
Okay. Never mind then.
Yes. Okay.
So I guess we go to the door and let them in.
Okay.
And they probably expect Twiggy, compensation in foods.
I mean, I expect Twiggy compensation in foods because everybody's going to want some kind of a buff going into a fight. However, this is going to be the end of this episode. So, if you are watching this on YouTube, please be a good werewolf, like and subscribe. Other than that, if you want to watch this live, please check us out on Twitch at Second Class Elitist, all spelled out. What's down there is what it looks like on Twitter. So catch me there as well. But if you want to catch this live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, we have another campaign on Thursdays, in which Scorched Ace, myself, and Greymane are players, and Morden is the GM. And we have one-shots that we run on Saturdays. So any of those 3 days, stop by, say hi, tell us you saw this on the YouTube, and let me know what you think. In the meantime, I want everybody in chat to vote for who gets a free fate point for today. Lost/Twiggy, Ace/Cassidius, Ari/Adaya, Greymane/Vanweth, or Luther/Morden. Wait, why did my screen just move? Oh, because somebody got hit with a random fireball. Well, that's nice. Why is there a pie plate on our base? And with that, we will be finishing up for the night. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank my lovely players. We are going to give you a crazy wave, and we will catch you all again next week. Bye!